a little prayer for you, and I will always care for you. Hello, Detroit.
And once again, thank you so much, Will. Thank you for being patient with me. And of course, we have our special guest, Amos, Reginald Amos. We call affectionately called the Deputy Chief.
Yeah.
And so again, I just want to thank you for the time that you've given me and educating all of us in terms of what the difference between an ordinance and a community agreement. Mm-hmm. See what the difference is right quick again, once again.
The difference between a CBA, Community Benefit Agreement, and a Community Benefit Ordinance is an ordinance is crafted by the mayor and the council. You can't really hold a developer accountable. They can back out of it. A Community Benefit Agreement, known commonly as a CBA, is a binding contract.
Legal.
Yes, where the developer and the host community group they reach an agreement, they sign the contract, the city can sign in on it, and usually the cities will sign in simply because if the developer renege or back out of the deal, then there's legal grounds for the host community group, and because the city signed, they can take the developer to court.
For example, the Little Caesars Arena.
If there was a true community benefit agreement,
you could have stopped it. You could have
stopped it and
say you got to do this, do that.
You got to do this,
if
do
you
that.
don't, we're gonna cut it out.
Right, and then they would not get that additional $74 million bonus.
Right. So
that also came from the schools.
The
300 and some million. Came from the school.
And then another 74 million?
74 million. They just got it. An additional $74 million.
But I'm just saying, Chief, it's almost like it's an insult to the. Look, we all should be upset about this.
We should
unless
be.
It's something we're missing here. I just can't believe that I'm looking at leadership in my mind's eye. And they would never let nobody else do this.
Reverend Holley, what you and your viewing audience hear me and see me saying, all of the community groups, grassroots, if you will, they should be saying the same thing based on what you just said. Everybody should be upset. This is money. Look,
I mean, the schools, the buildings are falling down, the infrastructure.
Right.
Don't even have water. You got to have another water system.
Right.
Because the water system is broke. You got ceilings, roof, all of this kind of stuff.
Right.
So we're sacrificing our children's education for a sports arena that basically, I know basketball is in there, so we know a lot of African Americans go to the basketball game, but it's really built for the other people. It wasn't built for us.
Right. And so that's why, I mean, when you turn around and you give $36 million to Tom Gore, that money also came from what? The school program. See,
not from the school program. Don't tell me that.
Reverend Holley, look, I listen to...
Why are they picking on the school people?
Because that's the first place where it's easy to pull money from. Okay? I listened to Superintendent Vitti. He clearly explained it's not coming from the budget that they have today.
Right.
It's coming from the future money.
Right.
Okay, so right now, Detroit, they cannot get any more money from the state because they've reached their max.
Right.
So our schools have to sit here for another 30 years before they can get any serious money to fix the schools.
And we taking this?
Hey, what can we? I mean, that's the way it's been set up, and that's why we're fighting, and that's why we're saying, hey, every group out there that's in the grassroots or the community activists, hey, put your eggshell eagles off to the side, come to the meeting, find out what's going on, get engaged, and let's fight for our community. Let's fight for our children.
So it's today?
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow at
That's Sunday, right?
No, Saturday.
What's the day? Day is Saturday.
I mean, it's the day. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's the day. You're right.
Okay.
At 2:00.
You didn't have no stroke, you know.
That's right. That's what.
I-
Yeah. Okay. I'm simulating.
I got you.
Okay.
It will do that.
Yeah. But today from 2 to 4 at historic King Solomon Baptist Church, and let's understand, find out what's going on, understand the issues and challenges that we're facing, and then get engaged and let's do something about
What's
it.
you know the address there?
6100 14th Street at Ferry Park.
Very historical place.
Very
Very
historical.
historical, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Chief.
Thank you for the
I
opportunity.
hope this helps,
Yes.
and hope that you continue to call in.
Oh, yeah,
I
without
enjoyed it.
question.
Okay, then. I need to take a break here and talk a little bit, my sister and brother, about the former Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. Would you be supportive if we basically put a petition to ask the president to do one or two things: reduce his sentence, or maybe commute it, period. But I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. We'll be right back.
I will say a little prayer for you, and I will always care for you. Hello, Detroit.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
There is not another culinary or hospitality academy located in the city of Detroit.
There's a lot of people teaching culinary arts, but they're not teaching the business side of it.
We're opening up another kitchen for the Cleary Culinary Academy. We're going to bring a Cleary mind to every kitchen in downtown Detroit.
But when we talk about Cleary mind, we're talking about a student that can make a definite impact.
We want to be a part of all the wonderful food establishments, restaurants, and the food scene in general in downtown Detroit.
Once again, thank you so much for being with us. Always, I appreciate your patience with me. And we, again, want you to know to tell somebody that we're on Comcast 20, as well as on the internet, WHBR, channel 33, not channel, WHBR 33.com. So I'm just asking you, if you would, please, please give us a call and make sure that indeed that you get the word out that we're on Comcast 20, channel 33, and also you can, on the internet, is TV33, WHPR.com. TV33, WHPR.com. And so I just want to know that we are working together, and certainly hope that you just get the word out so that you can not only view us, but also you can hear us on the internet. Again, I want to thank you for your patience and trying to make sure that indeed we get all of these things in. That's very important to what's happening here in the community. And also, I wanted to make sure also, if I don't get a chance to talk about this, is that the things that's going on in Benton Harbor. And my sister and brother, it's very similar, but in a minute way of what went on a number of years ago here in the city of Detroit. And of course, what they're talking about, they got one high school. They're thinking about, for the most part, is the governor's offered to close the high school, forgive the debt for $18 million, so they won't add more debt to it. But after closing the school, basically have the parents send their kids to other districts, whether it's charter schools or other schools in the area. And also, we're talking about they got the 46 substitute teachers, no certified teachers and encourage the parents want to make sure that their children are getting a good education like everybody else in the area. And so I just want to get that to you, and we are going to most likely be going up to Benton Harbor. I've been invited to go up and try to just to see what's going on, and not trying to tell nobody to do anything, but other than trying to see if indeed we can have some input if they allow me to after inviting me. But the point is that we all in this thing together, whether you're in Detroit, whether you're in Inkster, or in Benton Harbor, Flint, we're all in this thing together. Right now I want to talk to you a little bit and see what your thoughts are, and tell me whether you're supportive or not, and give me a reason why you're supporting or why you're not supporting. And that is that a letter was written to President Trump by the former mayor, Kwame Kilpatrick, asking the president to basically to commute his sentence. That he's been at 8 years right now, got 20 years more to go. It feels like it was unfair. The sentence was unfair. For somehow, some kind of way, for whatever reason, President Obama didn't do it, or wouldn't do it, or couldn't do it, or whatever it was. But we don't know what the reason was. But right now, based on what is going on with prison reform, I think that the former mayor is asking for help from Washington. What are your thoughts? If we needed to put together a petition here in the city of Detroit and get about 500,000 signatures, would you be one of them willing to at least reduce the sentence, if not basically just commute it altogether? And that's what we're talking about. 868-0342, 868-0351, 868-4336. Caller, thank you for your patience. How are you this morning?
Doing pretty good.
Good.
Yes, I remember Kilpatrick went to court so the court would take out what the people voted for to put in the charter, that the housing department would be a part of city government. He went to court and had the court to illegally say no, the housing department could go private. And then Detroit moved from being the city of homeowners to the city of homelessness. I also remember in Kilpatrick's time, he imposed a garbage fee, a garbage tax, and passed it as a fee. And therefore, I was paying $30 on summer tax a year for my trash to be picked up, and it went to $200 for the rest of the people and $120 for seniors. And that was also illegally took from us. So you can guess whether I want to support him and whether the people, knowing what he done to us in those manners, whether they want to support him or not. Okay. But at the same time, your other hour of the show was talking about the mayor doing things he wants to do. Well, what I happen to do, Reverend Holley, I looked in 1980, and the major cities, Detroit, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Birmingham, Alabama, New Orleans, Newark, Baltimore, Memphis, St. Louis, Cleveland, and Philadelphia, and Harlem, New York. All of them had more than 50% black population. And today, most of them got around 40 or 30% black population. And I see the same thing in Detroit. So I'm seeing what's happening to Detroit is not the mayor got to, feel like he wanted to do this. No, what we got is a national policy to move us black people out of the cities, and the city council of all these cities that I went to and looked at and got this thing, they're doing the same thing that the successive city council is doing here, rubber stamping cooperative racism. And they're doing it, selling themselves out as crumbs. Even the Baptist Council of Baptist pastors of every city, of if they ain't named that, the pastors of every city is the social prop for corporations, and they are 501c3 also. So when you ask the other people, was the city council and all of them, did they not have the interests of the people at heart? No, not in Detroit. They all been bought off. They're political oligarchs. Not in no major city. I went to them. I'm looking at the programs, and when you look at the population decline, you see ethnic cleansing, not just gentrification. You see ethnic cleansing like you see in District 5 downtown. It was 90 in 1990 and all the way up to just a few years ago to 2011. It was mostly black. Now you downtown is lily white, and that means that those things happen because of politics. They don't happen because little Johnny didn't go to school. The mother had babies. No, those are policies when you move a whole population from an area. And then here's how today it's being done by the mayor. The mayor asked the city council in October the 11th of 2018, last year, gave the mayor a new title, authority officer, and said that he could borrow money on us. And in December the 4th, the mayor went and sold general obligation bonds. And he sold them for $435 million. And by law, any general obligation funds, according to the state constitution, is supposed to be voted on by the people because it's a public debt. But he's going farther. He said the other day he wants a bond money so he can knock these houses down because it's blight. We got to, in 5 years, we're going to have all the houses going. But you'll bond yourself, even though majority of people in Detroit is on some tax plan where they won't lose their home, and that's why they after the Wayne County treasurer, because he got programs to help people stay in the city, and that's not the aim of corporations and they flunkies in city council and the council of Baptist pastors. So what they did, they asked for the thing. But I'm going to ask the people, look at Los Angeles in South Central, where most blacks was at. They went and sold out all the homes. They had fires, and now on Skid Row in Los Angeles, the whole population of blacks are laying on the ground, homelessness, and they say, you know what? We have a shortage of houses. Well, if we let the city council, by resolution, pass a bond to knock down blight, you're going to have wholesale that situation in Detroit. And the last thing, garbage. He says, well, the people ain't got the money. So what we'll do, we will run the fire trucks on a run, and they'll stop at every light in the neighborhood. Then he said, we want garbage picked up every 2 weeks with the same containers we got. That means rats and roaches will run all through our community like they're doing in Los Angeles now, and diseases are popping up in the black community all over. So I'm saying to you, no, the mayor has not just got opinion.
Okay.
The mayor is carrying out policies, and the city council is black successive city council have carried out policies from the federal government to bring cooperation back in the cities with its white workers. And you look downtown, what you see a white city, and they're talking about walkable. Walkable cities mean no cars. That means you are creating not a downtown. You ain't no downtown Detroit. Downtown means you got the commercial center, and you got of the city, and you got your government center of the government. Well, you paying chaos because you ain't got no business downtown. You go to the whatever the stores and pay your bill, and then it's walkable. $45 for a parking ticket. That Negro stay out.
All right. That's I got you. And thank you so much, Tyrone, for the call. You just there's no comma, no colon, no period. So I just have to. But thank you for everything.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing, Rev Holley?
Just fine. Thank you for calling.
I was trying to get in with Chief Amos,
Okay.
you know, because I work with him on that group that
Okay.
Detroit United, and
Okay.
give some clarification.
Sure. Go
Because
ahead.
I'm in, you know, this is kind of man. I live over there where the Chrysler deal is going down. We was hoodwinked. They bambooed us, and they did stuff before we even knew about it. But then they come to us and said we had 60 days, you know, to okay this plan and things, and we was, you know, not aware, and we wasn't given the information that's needed. All the stuff they putting over here, they rezoning the area. I was down at the city council meeting Thursday. I've been going to every meeting. So if people, we need y'all to come out, because that's one of the problems. Is our fault, and I have to agree. One of the problems is black folks' fault. Because I went to every meeting at this Chrysler deal, and these black folks, only so many people came out. They should have came out from the west side, the east side, north and south, because it's going to trickle down in everybody's area. And the only time black folks, a lot of them would start crying about stuff is when they come in their area or when they hit their home.
Right.
Now, they crying about what the money, like you said, why we ain't outraged with this money they gave took from the schools from our kids. We should have been outraged about that in numbers out in the streets and said, we're not going to allow this, we're going to shut it down, we're not going to spend money, we're not going to do this or we don't do that. I agree with a lot of stuff that Tyrone's saying, but the stuff that hits home when we got to get off our hands and our butts from sitting on them and make it happen or put something together and quit being so divided or mad at each other for dumb reasons. Now, Kwame, I will sign that because everybody, a lot of black folks are so hard on him, and you show me people that ain't been to jail that did wrong to people, whether it was a whole city or whether it was individual, and you wanted forgiveness and you still ask for forgiveness for doing something wrong. You show me some people, and you cast that first stone, as they say, where you so pure or you a saint. So, you know, we will forgive everybody else but our own people so fast.
Let me ask you
no,
this.
he didn't. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, Cattleman. How many people in the meeting on the east side in that meeting? How many were there?
Well, sometimes, I went to everyone, and the first time we had maybe about 150, something like that.
Okay,
200. Now we got 600 or 700, or as they quote, 700,000 people in the city of Detroit. 80 to 85% black. We should have had our behinds out there because it was in the evening time.
How many people are affected by the deal at Chrysler on the east side? How many people are affected by this?
Well, this east side from.
Give me the number. Give me a number. Give me a number.
I say maybe about 40% over here, 50 on the east side, because it runs different areas. And I was the first one to speak and was against it. Every time they let public speaking, I stood up and spoke and fought for the people, but we won't get off our butts and fight for ourselves. And just like the Charter Commissioner meeting, people don't come out, but they'll call in and talk. I know everybody can't come out all the time, but you can make one of these meetings because it's concerning your kids, your grandkids, and their future. And people always got an excuse why they can't do something until it hit their home or something happened. Then they want to cry about it. My problem is get off y'all butts and let's make it happen. You know, black folks. Other races come out in numbers. Why we don't come out in numbers? Unless we give us something away or other things. But we need to come out. I'm pissed off, Rev Holley, because I've been in this city 60-something years. We looking at how blacks can fail, you know, from sticking together, coming together, hating on each other for whatever reason. It's sad, man. It's sad.
Let me ask you this: when you go to the city council, kind of man, when you speak, who's there? Who's supporting you there?
We had a couple of people, but they used to give you 2 minutes. When me and Eastside Lady used to go down there, they done turned it over to 1 minute. Time you sit down and say, and sneeze, half of your minute is gone. They don't give you no time. I went down there this week, last week, and Tate was at the table. They hear you, but that's about it. You know, we need a whole new city council and mayor in the city of Detroit. I'm sorry, but that's what we need. Okay. And people need to get off their butts and vote it in and quit whining or keeping a pacifier on their side. And we need to get off our butt and make it happen, because we the only one can make it happen when we get off our butts and vote. That's older folk and young folk. Young folks, y'all got to get off y'all A and come on out and support, because y'all are the future. Because, you know, Rev Holley, me and you, we got more years behind us than we do in front of us. Right. And this future is going to be for them. And if they don't fight now, their hands going to be in trouble when we gone.
Thank you so much,
so
Kenny.
Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate you.
Appreciate the call. It's about 28 minutes after the hour. Let me just get another break in here, and then we'll go all the way up to the top of the hour. I just want to talk about your support for the former mayor, Kwame Kilpatrick, if you would sign the petition if I brought it to you. We'll be right back.
Detroit.
You can have your own party on TV. Party with R.J. Watkins and the TV33 family when you hold your own Facebook watch party. Connect all your friends with our friends, and we can have a watch party together. Watch your favorite TV shows when you want, how you want, with your favorite people. Here's how it works. Log on to Facebook from your computer or tablet and go to the R.J. Watkins fan page at facebook.com/TV33WHPR, the one with the blue WHPR logo on the left. Like us. Click the word videos with the red tag that says live next to it. Then click the share button at the bottom of the video player and select start a watch party. Invite whoever you want. Your party will be recorded and archived for playback anytime you want. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. At the end of the month, the viewer that has the most people at their watch party will be invited on the TV show live. Come on, let's have a party.
You've seen him on the red carpet, you've seen him on the sidelines, you've seen him on the stage. The hottest looks in urban fashion from the biggest name in urban fashion, Van Dykes. Now pick out 3, pay for 1. 3 suits for 1. Van Dykes, 10 Mile and Southfield Road. You've seen him at the clubs, you've seen him in the boardroom, you've seen him on the pulpit. Now get them at Van Dykes. 3 suits for 1. Suits for the workplace, for the club scene, to be seen in. Pick out 3, pay for 1. Van Dykes, 10 Mile and Southfield Road.
Today's energy in all large buildings are controlled through an energy management system. In this program, learning microprocessing and electronics is very valuable. These skills are a global skill. To be able to make a building function, just a phenomenal feeling. I'm faculty, and I teach HVAC, furnace, hydronics, refrigeration. There's just some phenomenal people here. Coming to this college, no one ever turned me down to help promote me in my career and promote young people in our community as well as women. I would implore anyone from the community to take advantage of this educational opportunity. It's still affordable and provides a great lifestyle. You grow a confidence, and you grow it from being educated.
Detroit.
Once again, thank you so much for being with us on this Saturday morning. Jim Holley here with you. As always, we thank you so much for being there. As we indicated to you, there's a letter that was written by the former mayor, Kwame Kilpatrick, who's serving 28 years in prison federal prison, and of course he's been there 8 years, and now it's 20 years to go. And I don't know how it works in terms of federal time and good behavior. I think you have to think most of it you got to spend in prison. But with all the things that the president is doing, a young lady that was not a lady that was in this reform piece that's going on with the president's office, prison reform that is. And then, of course, there was a couple of people that he has really already commuted their sentences. And of course, there's a letter that the mayor wrote to the president asking for consideration. And of course, he indicated in the letter that I got 3 kids, a 24-year-old, that I'm now a grandfather, he says. I got 22-year-old twins, and that I'd like to have more time with. I didn't make it to their graduation and those kind of things. A wonderful letter that he wrote to the president. And I do feel like, my sisters and brothers, that you know and I know that, I don't know if you know it or not, but my understanding is that he would have, if he had not gone to trial, they would have given him 12 years. But because he went to trial and found guilty, they gave him 28 years. But understand, they were only going to give him 12 years if he had basically copied a plea. And so I'm just saying to you is that somehow, some kind of way, I just want to know what you think. If we put this petition together and organize a petition to the president and ask him to basically, at least, if you don't want to commute the whole sentence, if he could, maybe, he served 8 already, 5 months in solitary confinement. He's a brilliant man. His law practice is gone because they took his license as a lawyer away. He can't, also in the stipulation of the prosecutor is that he would not be able to run for any political office, all of those kind of things. So I'm just saying to you, what would you do if you had an opportunity to sign a petition in supporting the former mayor, Kwame Kilpatrick, to basically to come out of prison, or that at least he would be commuted to a few down to a few years. So you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm just asking you what your thoughts are on about that. Caller, thank you so much for your patience. How are you this morning? Good morning. Caller, you're in touch. How are you? Caller, you're in touch. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
I want to know, what did he do wrong? The same thing that Mayor Duggan did. He talked to the construction people, and he hired who he wanted to have the job. They put RICO on him, and he went to jail for what? Hiring his friend to do the work. And then Charlie the Dove had Duggan on TV making secret deals with the demolition contractors. What did he do, Rev Holley?
Well,
this is bad. This is terrible.
Yeah.
But we don't stand up for nobody.
Yeah, but
okay? We got to stand up for ourselves.
I got you. Again, I hear you. I disagree with your analysis of the situation, obviously, because I feel like, again, that what you said about the mayor, I just disagree. But I've been seeing all of that. But look what's going on with Metaphor. What's going on in Washington? What's going on with those who basically have all the king's men and all the king's men that basically around him, the presidents, that basically going for millions of dollars, and for the most part getting 6 months, 8 months. And then most likely if the president, whether he wins or not, he most likely will get his friends out of prison. You know, that's a done. You know, that's a done deal. The question I'm asking you: do you compare that with Duggan, or do you compare that with what's going on in Washington, where more crime has been committed, money-wise, fraud-wise, and other-wise? And I'm just saying to you is that I think you have a better case of really of winning the argument in terms of Kwame Kilpatrick. It's what's going on in Washington, not so much what's going on with Mayor Duggan. That's just my humble opinion, but you got a right to yours as well. Caller, thank you for being there. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Caller,
Rev Holley?
Yes, how are you?
I'm just going to say this. I ain't trying to make this a Kwame thing, but those contracts that Kwame supposed to have approved, went along with when he was mayor, I thought the city council had to give the approve before the mayor contract go through. Because just because you mayor, you can't go around saying, I'm going to get contract to this person and that person because I'm the big top mayor. I thought the city council had to go along with that. Thank you.
Yeah, and if not, it should be there. It ought to be a catch, a net that you catch all this stuff. I hear you loud and clear. I'm not quite sure how all that fanned it out in terms of Rico, whatever the name is that they accused him of, and then also when he basically perjury. But I'm just saying to you is that I hear you loud and clear, and obviously that there is a checks and balance in our system, and it's somehow the way it fails, or that there was a loophole in the system that caused one person to get most of the contracts, if not all of them, but most of them from the mayor, and where basically it was said that there was kickbacks and all that kind of stuff. Again, like I said before, that if you're talking about 28 years, you've already served 8, and you got 20 more years to go. The letter he wrote to the president asking him to consider commuting his sentence, and I'm just into you is that what's going on, and you know what's happening in Washington, where many of these people have done worse. He didn't kill anyone, you know, and Obama, bless his heart. So many people got out of jail that one guy killed 3 people, and a whole lot of stuff. I'm just saying to you is that I just feel like if they were going to offer him 12 years in the beginning, and then he went to trial, and of course he got 28 years, then must have been the point that he could have it could somehow, we could find, at least reduce the sentence, if not get rid of it altogether. He's as he indicated in his letter, he's no threat to the community. He's basically humbled. He's feel like indeed that he's learned his lesson. All of those kind of things. I don't know why Obama, with his mother being a congressperson, why in the world would the President Obama would not really help his mother, who was a congressperson. I don't understand it. I really don't. But nevertheless, I'm just sitting here trying to see what your thoughts are in terms of supporting the former mayor Kwame Kilpatrick as having his sentence basically commuted, all of it or part of it, and certainly that what your thoughts are in regards to that. The other thing I wanted to just indicate to you that he indicated in his letter that he's had 3 children, 22 years of his 22-year twins, and he's got his 24-year-old kid, a young son. He's now a grandfather, and so he did not participate in the graduation of his children. Obviously, I mean, he went on and on and on. And I'm just saying to you is that He indicated in his letter that he spent like 5 months as college solitary confinement, and on and on. So I'm just saying to you is that your thoughts in terms of whether or not, if we put a petition together of support, would you be there to support having him his sentence commuted to partially or altogether? The other thing I want to get to you before I go off the air, my sisters and brothers, that the situation is going on in Benton Harbor. You know, Benton Harbor has had some problems there, a lot of problems. And of course, I found out on yesterday that some of the people in the area called me and wanted to know if I would come and try to see what I could do to help. And I'm very humbled by that. But they got an $18 million school debt that the governor wants to, for the most part, wants to waive, but only if they allow her to close the high school. The other schools, the elementary and middle schools, will stay intact, but closing the high school. This high school has about 700 students in Benton Harbor. One high school is all they have, a public high school in Benton Harbor, and 700 students, and they got 46 teachers. All the teachers are substitute teachers. They'll have no certified teachers teaching in the public school system in regards to the high school, and the governor wants to close it. And if you let her close it, she will forgive the $18 million debt. And of course, if you continue, then you're going to continue the debt. And somehow, some kind of way, she's trying to compromise with the board and the leadership there in Benton Harbor. And of course, the board has voted not to close the high school. There's a lot of pride in it. There's a lot of rich history that's in it, and of course the board. Then I raised the question: the people who's on the board, do their children go to the high school? Do their grandchildren go to the high school? And of course, you always know what happens is that you got one people talking out of one mouth and doing something else, and so that's the thing. But the parents, from all indication in Benton Harbor, of the children, want the children to have a good education, and want to make sure that they are not getting a substandard education by having substitute teachers teaching their kids. And so, I just want to make sure that you would know about that. Something else that's in there I wanted to get to you. And so again, the board has rejected it, the mayor's suggestion and recommendation, and of course the governor wants to try to make sure that that she works with them and that she gets support rather than just going in. I mean, the young lady that's the governor, she's doing everything she can to try to work with Benton Harbor board. And so right now it seems to be a division between the board and the parents, which I don't understand, and also the leadership, the so-called leadership there. There's a division between all three. And of course, somehow, some kind of way, they got to get on the same page by September. So I just want to get that to you and what your thoughts are in regards to that. And then, of course, I want to let you know that indeed we were out last Saturday in Nigeria. The purpose of being there was to try to find investors. There's like about like 400 or 500 homes that we want to, our 501c3, that we want to rehab. The whole program is called Keeping Detroiters in Detroit. That's my theme. That's my goal. How do we keep Detroiters in Detroit? And so I want to rehab these homes. and with Detroiters and fix it up to the point where the people that's going in there can afford it. You put their taxes in escrow so that they pay their note with the taxes, so when the tax bill comes, it's already taken out, and so they don't have to worry about losing the home because when they pay the note, it's in the taxes is in there. Those kind of things, you know, and that we want to try to make sure all these homes are in the same area and try to cul-de-sac it, trying to make sure that indeed we do what we can to give security, landscape, all of that. And so that was one reason there, because I couldn't find the resources here. I've been looking here and there and everywhere, trying to find resources. And then, of course, there's another area that we're got an eye on to try to get low-income housing in. And again, my sisters and brothers, it's just, you know, it just takes work. It takes prayer, and you got to be practical. You heard me. You got to pray, and you got to be practical. You got to pray and then get to work, you know. So when we went to Nigeria, we met some wonderful people, and some of them will be here in the next 2 weeks. And then we have hopefully we'll have another venue that we're opening up in September, and we have them coming in to see what their money has done, and because again, it's difficult to do business, you know, across from Africa to Detroit. And so people got to see you. They got to shake your hand. They got to look you in eyeball to eyeball. They got to be able to know you and feel like that you're you're trustworthy, and vice versa. So again, it was a good trip, and I must say one of the best ones I've had in a long, long time. And of course, you know, in Nigeria, these people got so much money. But what they're doing is they're spending all of their money in Dubai, and that's where everybody's going, to Dubai, and their investments are in Dubai. And so I'm just saying to you is that we're trying to change that culture a little bit and let them know that there's some investments here in the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan. And so that's the thing. And then, of course, as I said before, it's just people are doing. You got people that are basically wealthy, and then you got people who are, there's no middle class, wealthy and poverty, and a lot of poverty. Then they have another big problem, of course, and that is religion. You got Muslims and Christians, and normally when you have a election on a national level or on a state level, you got to make sure that the ticket is Muslim and Christian, and all Christian and Muslim. You got to have it because they basically are divided, and try to work together. There is an effort in order to get people to work together. Where we may have racism here, they basically have a religious, a religious problem there. And so I'm just saying to you again that it's just very interesting, but it was a good trip, and I thank you for your prayers as well. Caller, thank you for calling. How are you? Good morning. Caller, how are you this morning?
I'm doing fine, Rev Holley. Listen, I called back because I forgot to tell you that we're going to be raffling off tickets to the concerts at Aretha Franklin Park, you know.
Okay.
So I just wanted people to know that they have an opportunity to win some tickets to the concert today. And as I mentioned to you earlier, we're celebrating our fathers because this is a month for Father's Day.
Where do you get the tickets?
At the meeting at the Davo Center today.
Okay.
Between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Okay.
That's on Grand River in Wyoming.
Right.
12048 Grand River.
Who's at the concert? Who's doing the concert?
Gladys Knight. Doesn't that sound wonderful?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. Now, see, that means you're coming, right?
Yeah, love me some Gladys.
Go on today between 2 and 6. Yep.
All I want to hear is the midnight train to Georgia.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right. The research will be there from 2 to 6.
All right, thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I'm telling you. And you did see her at I think where it was at the Super Bowl, I think, where she sung the national anthem, and I mean sung it too, strong. I think she's my age, and looking good and sounding real good. And so, again, that's Theo asking that you have an opportunity to see Gladys Knight on Father's Day. And so they're having a meeting at Dabo. That's where Rev Holley Sheffield's church is, and organization there on Grand River in Wyoming today at 2 o'clock. So, again, we thank you so much for all of your kindness, and we are basically enjoy being with you. And when I'm not here, I'm just want you to know I miss you very much, and look forward to this gathering where we have opportunity, where we have a chance to talk to each other and talk about the various events that's taking place. And so, again, I just want you to know that we're grateful for that. I don't take your kindness for granted. I don't. I understand there's a lot of options you have with that remote and also with the internet. And so I just want you to know that we're very grateful and very thankful. And so in wrapping this up, we had Chief Amos coming in and Deputy Chief to come in and talk about the difference between an ordinance and a community agreement. And basically what he's been promoting is a community agreement. One of the things I think, my sisters and brothers, by way of wrapping this thing up, we got to make sure that there's checks and balance with our government, the mayor's office, and also with the city council. Again, we don't sit here and try to second guess or try to basically be judgmental, but we know that indeed there's a whole lot of things going on in the city of Detroit. There's an article in the Michigan Chronicle, if you want to pick it up this week, and that is talking about a divided city. And that there's a whole lot of, Detroit is moving forward, but Detroit is not moving with Detroit. And somehow we got to make sure that Detroiters are moving with Detroit. I know that many of you are talking about, again, for the most part, for the lack of a word, the Negro removal concept that was basically created by the late Judge Keith. And I'm just saying to you is indeed, I'm not so much feel like that's really what's going on here. The problem is it's economics. It's economics. And if we can basically fulfill that gap of economics, I think indeed we all can work together and stay here together. We got to realize, my sister and brother, that many people just don't have the resources that they used to have, and that we got to find a way to make sure they're comfortable, and that they can hang in there. There was a lady that we raised about, by the way, we raised about $6,000 in helping those some people in the North End, senior citizens who basically have lost, were about to lose their homes. And so my daughter and I teamed up and raised about $6,000 and basically trying to help, and we were able to help a good 8 or 9 people with that small amount of money, because sometimes people are short of $50, sometimes it's short of $300. One lady was very upset because she wanted us to pay her to give us some money to basically get her in a payment plan, and certainly we wanted to do that, but then we got the payment plan down to about $50 a month, and she has a nice home, got the payment plan down for $50 a month, not 50,000, not 500, $50 a month. And she basically upset because she felt like she couldn't afford it. But then she walked out there and got into a 2017 Cadillac. And she's got a right to do that. She got a right for it. Then she indicated to me, well, I got to pay my, that's my cable bill. So you want to choose your cable bill over a roof over your head. And I'm just saying to you as my sister, brother, I'm not trying to be judgmental. I'm just saying to you is sometimes we just got to put our priorities in the right place. Anyway, I'm probably talking too much, but I'm just letting you know indeed that we did good, and with thanks to many of you who gave us a child brought in about $15, and every bit helped. And once you know, we're very successful with that. Thank you so much. I want you to know that we are just grateful to be with you every Saturday morning, whether it's Comcast 20 and also whether it's WHPR Internet. So again, thank you for being with us, and don't forget, we'll be here if the Lord says the same a week from today. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful, blessed weekend.
Detroit.